You are listening to EPT 100 Days, a podcast I developed for you to easily access targeted forgiveness and affirmation statements. I'm Sherry Hamilton, holistic emotional therapist at EPT Works Huntsville. EPT is short for Emotional Polarity Technique, an innovative, holistic emotional therapy that will change your life for good. 100 Days of EPT, Day 98. I make a difference for good. Think and speak aloud. I make a difference for good. Choosing to make a difference for good is putting yourself on the side of good. You are making a choice to pay attention for acting on good. Taking action for good in relationships to others is a way to serve with humility and knowledge that life is not all about me. While thinking, I make a difference for good, place one hand over your heart and one hand over your forehead. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Repeat, taking 2 more deep breaths in and out. Remove your hand from your forehead. Hold one hand over your heart with your thumb under one collarbone and your 4 fingers under the other collarbone. Gently rub spots below collarbones while speaking the following statements. Take a deep breath in and out after you speak aloud each statement. I forgive myself for being aware of my lack of desire to make a difference for good. I forgive myself for blaming others for my indifference for good. I forgive myself for creating experiences in my life to maintain my indifference for good. I forgive myself for using my indifference for good to justify my own lack of power. I forgive myself for believing I don't have the power to make a difference for good. I forgive myself for believing that it isn't possible for me to make a difference for good. I forgive myself for believing that making a difference for good only belongs to others, not to me. I forgive myself for believing that it isn't safe for me or for others for me to make a difference for good. I forgive others for limiting my ability to make a difference for good. I forgive others for failing to train me when I was young to make a difference for good. I give others permission to forgive me for blaming them for my lack of attention to make a difference for good. I give others permission to forgive me for choosing to take responsibility over my creative attention to make a difference for good. I forgive myself for what I have not known about creating my own resource and experience to make a difference for good. I forgive myself for seeking my power for good through a false humility. I forgive myself for believing making a difference for good is not possible for me. I forgive myself for believing there are some things that can never heal. I forgive myself for believing someone has to change before I make a difference for good. I forgive myself for holding on to a life that doesn't exist for me as a way to refuse making a difference for good. I forgive myself for holding on to the way I hoped it would be in place of the way it is. I forgive myself for resisting the way my life is now. I forgive myself for resisting more goodness in my life. I accept the hurt in my life that has taken time, energy, and attention away from my ability to make a difference for good. I accept the happiness in my life as I make a difference for good. I accept the freedom I have now to make a difference for good. I accept the resistance I feel to my awareness to make a difference for good. I accept the anger I feel to my experience to make a difference for good. I accept the sadness I feel to my experience to make a difference for good. I increase my level of acceptance to my resistance to letting go of all my unexpressed anger I feel with making a difference for good. I increase my level of acceptance to my resistance to my acceptance of the sadness I feel with making a difference for good. Even though I have experienced difficulty, I still love and accept myself, and I make a difference for good. Even though my experiences have taken away my attention from making a difference for good, I still love and accept myself, feeling safe in a love relationship now. Even though I have been humiliated, I am still lovable and safe as I make a difference for good in love relationships. Even though I have failed at making a difference for good and I've been ashamed, I still love and accept myself now. Even though I hurt someone I love and I am guilty of limiting goodness, I am now responsible for loving others. Even though I'm not perfect at making a difference for good, I am now responsible to do my best for those I love. I say yes to my difficult experiences, and I call it up and release it to divine love and gratitude. I say yes to my shame, guilt, and humiliation, and I call it up and I release it from my mind, body, and spirit. I say yes to my anger and grief, and I call it up and release it to God's love and mercy. In the space where I have stored my unresolved, difficult experiences, I now open up massive space for making a difference for good in my life now. I forgive myself for believing there was something I did that caused this lack of goodness to happen to me. I forgive myself for believing there was something I could have done to prevent a difference for good from happening to me. I forgive myself for blaming myself for what happened and restricting myself from making a difference for good. I forgive myself for believing I must continue to spend energy on my past difficulty to keep me from making a difference for good now. Without this pattern of restricting myself from making a difference for good, I am free to let it go and choose a new response of forgiveness, grace, and kindness toward myself and others. I am free to love myself more fully for who I am, as I make a difference for good in all situations. I'm free to love others more fully for who they are, as I make a difference for good. I'm free to be safe as I make a difference for good. I'm free to be loved as I make a difference for good. I'm free to have abundance and prosperity as I make a difference for good. I'm free to be healed from difficult memory cycles that no longer serve me as I make a difference for good. I'm free to be at peace. I'm free to give more love to others and myself. I'm free to accept all of the goodness that comes to me as God's free gifts to me. I'm free to receive all of God's free gifts of goodness to me, and I make a difference for good. I'm free to be happy as I make a difference for good. I'm free to be joyful as I make a difference for good. I'm free to accept my life the way it is. I'm free to create something brand new in my life as I make a difference for good. I'm free to heal my relationships as I make a difference for good. I'm free to feel worthy of love as I make a difference for good. I give myself permission to feel happy and free when I am loved as I make a difference for good. I give myself permission to feel safe and secure as I make a difference for good. I give myself permission to feel confident and safe as I make a difference for good. I give myself permission to feel great as I make a difference for good in my life and fantastic new experiences happen in my life. I choose to let go of the pain and to love myself more fully as I make a difference for good. I choose to be happy as I make a difference for good. I choose to love myself as I make a difference for good. I choose to let go of the anger and to respond in love as I make a difference for good. I choose to be secure as I make a difference for good. May you be blessed with honesty and humility in your own beautifully complex and purposeful life. May you easily let go of fantasy extremes and substitutes that can never satisfy or create an authentic, connected experience for you. May you know and experience who you are with kindness, compassion, and creativity. May you proceed in life with care and value, goodness and gratitude toward yourself and others, and may you experience true transformation in living well in newness of life.